They must have increased your dosage too much.
Parallel worlds exist.
I was confused. I didn't understand any of it.
Everyone's dead.
Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am Crybaby Pumpkabun, or Lulu, and welcome back to our blind LP of AI the Somnium files. Last time, we continued the green route, which unlocked. We started we checked on Hitomi. While we were there, we got into a fight with a bunch of cops. We blew them up, knocked Boss into a coma, and then we synced with Boss and found out in Boss's memory who did each of the killings. We found out Renju killed Shoko, which we had decent belief that that was true, and I've been saying I don't think they were all one person. We had then Iris killed Renju, and then Iris was killed by So, and So was killed by Boss. We have this nice chain of 5 people killing each other. So that's where we left off. We're gonna get to find out more. So let's get into it. Police headquarters at 3:14 a.m.
I took a look around your head, and I discovered something. Something about the new Cyclops serial killings. Apart from Ota, there are 4 victims. Shoko Nadami, Renju Okiura, Iris Sagan, and So Sejima. Who was responsible for these murders? Shoko was stabbed by Renju with an ice pick. Renju was strangled to death by Iris. So cut open Iris's body. But who shot So? It was you. In other words, all of these murders were committed by different people.
Called it.
There wasn't just one killer. That's how it looks on the surface, anyway. But that's not the truth, is it? There's only one culprit.
Because of the mind swappingness?
One person. And that person is...
Who is the new Cyclops serial killer? Okay. Our options are Iris, So, Renju, and them. I'm gonna say it's you, but honestly, I don't know. It's you.
Yes, you. The person in front of me right now.
You're blaming the commander of Abyss for this?
Not fully sure that that's who you are.
No, not Boss. The person inside Boss's head.
Ding, ding, ding. That's what I called! Ah! My theories are paying off.
Try to make sense.
All right, I'll explain. You know about the abandoned chemical plant in Kawasaki? There's a prototype sync machine there.
Did we know that in this route? I don't think we knew that in this route.
You use that device to swap around bodies one by one.
In other words, the entire egg ends up being replaced. Mind, consciousness, memory, they are traded. Switched.
I don't know where it started, but at some point, you got into Shoko's brain. Then, you got into Renju's.
Then Iris?
And got rid of Shoko's body. After Renju was Iris. You strangled Renju using Iris. After that, into So. Who you used to kill Iris and Ota at the cold storage warehouse.
Which also means that when we synced with Iris in this timeline, it wasn't Iris, it was this person, which means that I think it was whoever was with, I think that kind of confirms that, like, this theory is true and that it was the Cyclops killer who was doing all this, and it might even be the original Cyclops killer. Which I think might be Saito Sejima. Which might not be us anymore.
Now, you're in Boss's body.
Mind swap shenanigans make this confusing.
Inside her head.
I see. If you know that much, then I have nothing left to hide. Yes, I am the culprit behind the new Cyclops serial killings. I guess you can call me the new Cyclops killer.
Oh, it's now just suspect. Her eyes look clouded and dark. I noticed that, like, Iris's eyes seemed to have changed for one day, and she was acting a bit different, but... Give me the details of each crime. Oh, I think they're going to ask. The thing on the right is the thing I was just saying about how when we did the Somnium with Iris, it wasn't Iris.
Before I do, there's something I want to hear from you.
And that, I think, is what's supposed to lead us to realize that it's whoever was in Falco, which was, in my opinion, probably Saito Sejima.
How did you know about the prototype sync machine? And not only that, you also seem to know what the sync machine is truly capable of.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that?
Time travel shenanigans?
That's...
Regaining your memories, are you? Human memory is fractal. If you retain even a single piece of it, it's possible to recreate the whole thing.
Interesting.
Pieces of memories are like roots that grow into every corner of the brain, gradually, slowly, taking its time. I imagine the same thing is happening in your brain right now.
A fractal is a figure with self-similarity.
Yeah.
Allow me to explain.
That's... My brain's saying that's... Oh, I forget what that's called.
See this? Whichever fragment you cut, you will see a similar shape. The whole is made up of its similar parts.
Mm-hmm.
This is called a fractal figure. Memories in the brain are similar. That he is claiming that from a few pieces, you can rebuild the memory.
Okay. I knew about the prototype from regaining my memory? Is that right? No, that's not it.
Parallel worlds exist.
Parallel worlds theory is actually coming through. We're getting morphogenetic field theory again. Who was inside Iris during the interrogation Sunday?
That was me.
You imitate her well. From the way you talked and your body language, it was like the real Iris.
The eyes were different, though.
Earlier, too. Almost had me fooled. Your imitation of Boss was... perfect.
Yes, there's a reason for that. Let me define some terms first.
Okay.
A person's memory and sense of self. Let's call that personality. It isn't quite the right word, but it'll suffice.
Fair enough.
Now, transferring that personality into someone else's brain, let's call that parasitism.
Okay.
The one transferring is the parasite. The one being transferred into is the host. Are you with me so far?
Yes.
Moving on. Even after the personality exchange is complete, the host's memory isn't completely lost. About 1% remains in the brain.
The egg whites part, a little bit less left behind.
So, a parasite could use that 1% to imitate the language and behavior of the host. That's how I knew about the warehouse and Sunfish Pocket, by the way. Thanks to Renju and Iris's remaining memories.
Who the hell are you?
Saito Sejima.
I called it.
Congressman Sejima's son.
What?
I researched Saito thoroughly, but I cannot find any images of him on the internet. He is listed on the family register, but I cannot find any photographs.
Who was inside Iris during the interrogation Sunday?
I'm telling you, it was me. Why are you making me repeat myself?
That means the Somnium I entered on Sunday.
That's right. It was me.
So Iris was already dead before this. Iris was dead in Renju's body. How does he know about the original Cyclops killer? And something else was troubling me.
What's going on here?
We are the killer's first body.
Fine. I still have time.
Time?
You'll see.
you're acting like 89 did it in a different route.
So, where do you want me to start?
It's just past midnight on Tuesday. Shoko was killed on Friday. If we think of that as day 1, today is day 5. What was Saito doing those days? I decided to ask him. Alright, we're going in order.
Like you guessed, my personality was in Shoko, Renju's ex-wife.
We saw Shoko visit Fushu Prison, or we know Shoko visited Fushu Prison about a month ago to visit someone. I wonder if that was to visit 89, and I wonder if that's how 89 transferred into Shoko's body. But then, wouldn't 89 be missing an eye?
That made calling Renju easy. I need to talk to you about something. He came over without question.
This also explains why Renju was acting kind of weird and brought Mizuki into it and called her to the Bloom Park.
I think it was around 4 p.m. I had him meet me at the chemical plant. I made Renju go to sleep. Synced, switched personalities, and then stabbed Shoko's discarded body with an ice pick. I took Shoko to Bloom Park by car, using the old abandoned subway line. Must have been around 8 p.m. by the time I was finished. I tied up Shoko to one of the merry-go-round horses. After that, I used Renju's phone to send a Nile message to Mizuki.
Mizuki, Daddy got caught up in something serious.
Then, I just waited for Mizuki to arrive.
Day 2.
Until next Saturday evening, my personality was inside Renju.
Who we never got to see.
My next target was Iris. I knew she would be suspicious if I asked her to come to Kawasaki, so I asked her to come to Sunfish Pocket first.
To try to, yeah.
I called her a little before 5 p.m., and she arrived just after 6.
We have this timeline.
I greeted her, then convinced her to come with me.
This is what Ota told us.
That's when Ota saw us. Anyway, I put her in the car, then headed to the chemical plant. On the way, I made her take a sleeping pill. I knew she might run once she saw where we were going. It was around 7 p.m. when I got there, and I wasted no time switching bodies. After getting Iris's body, I used a rolled-up apron to strangle Renju to death.
Okay.
Then I put his body in an empty oil drum I'd prepared earlier. I put that in the trunk of the car, then headed to Sunfish Pocket. But then, something I didn't anticipate happened. Waiting for the signal in Akiba, someone knocked on the window of the car. It was Ota. He asked me something about being able to drive. He was surprised, to say the least. I didn't have time to waste on him. But I couldn't risk him finding the oil drum in the trunk. Plus, if word got around that Renji's car was spotted driving around Akiba, that would foil my plans.
A little bit.
So, I came up with a lie. I told him that I didn't have a license, so he had to keep it a secret. That's what that thing referred to in Ota's Nile messages, by the way. And just like that, I managed to escape a bad situation and headed to Sunfish Pocket as planned. The rest went exactly as you already figured out.
Okay. Day 3.
Sunday morning, I had a recording or some such thing scheduled. Oh, I am of course referring to Iris. I didn't want to draw suspicion, so I decided to attend as planned. I went to Lemniscate and performed my job. And when I left, I ran into you, Date.
And then we brought you here to interrogate you.
To be honest, I was a little surprised. Just the previous night, I was a parasite in the body of Renju. I didn't think Ota had seen me. So, of course, I didn't expect to see you there so soon. You were on to me, but there was nothing I could do about that. If I ran, it would only increase your suspicion. So I decided to play my role. The interrogation began around 8:20 p.m., is that right? Then you synced into my mind.
That's where we got, yeah, a lot of information.
But you didn't get what you were looking for, did you?
Not this time.
As a result, you had no choice but to release me. I didn't want to go home right away. I knew there might be police waiting for me. That would make it difficult to sneak out at night. And that would put my plan in jeopardy. So I asked you to take me to Marble. I tried to find an opportunity to run.
I did say that, Iris said she had never been there before, and we knew that, and then she was like, oh, I've been there once with Renju. I'm like, that's a lie. Okay, so now we know, in fact, that that's why it's a lie, is because this was actually Saito.
But then another unexpected event occurred. I got a Nile message from Ota. I knew I could use him. So I told him I needed his help and to meet me at Marble. He did as I instructed him to do. After that, I got into the van with Ota. But because his presence was unnecessary, I asked him to stop at a convenience store to buy me something to drink.
You weren't kidnapped, you stole the car yourself.
When he was gone, I took his car and drove to my parents' house where I used to live.
To get Sosajima to take him to the thing to sink into his body, and then kill Iris.
Yes, the Sajima residence. Of course, I knew I couldn't just walk up and ring the doorbell. Hello, Father, it's been a long time. I was also in Iris's body at the time. But I thought I could use that to my advantage. So I pushed on the intercom, and sure enough, my dad invited me inside. I told him this. I want you to come with me. There's something I need to show you. He was quiet for a while, but eventually agreed, and got into the van with me. We arrived at the prototype sync machine around 11:50 p.m. By the time I was in the body of Sosajima, it was a new day.
But, okay, I'm not sure why it's continue versus Monday, so I'm gonna try continue.
This was yesterday, early Monday morning, past midnight. In my new body, I drugged Iris, put her in the van, and drove to a new location. Okiura Fishery Cold Storage Warehouse. I arrived around 1, then prepared for the show for a couple hours. Of course, when I say show, I mean dismembering Iris. Because of the temperature in the warehouse, it took longer than I expected to prepare, but... well, you saw it in the video.
I hate this.
Of course, I didn't anticipate Ota would show up. What does that make it? 3 times that brat has showed up unexpectedly? That annoyed me to no end, and I took that out on him. Dressing him up in the polar bear was an impromptu plan on my part. I didn't mean to make you think he was the killer. I just wanted to throw a wrench into the investigation. Didn't matter if you found out or not. This all happened Monday morning. I left the warehouse around 3:30 a.m.
And then day 4.
There isn't much to talk about on Monday. Before noon, I used my old man's body to call this one Boss. You might not know this, but she and my father go back about 6 years. The two shared a terrible secret.
With the old Cyclops killers.
Hinting at that was enough to get the boss to come running to me immediately. I injected her with a sedative, then brought her body to the chemical plant. I synced with her, exchanged our bodies. And after blowing my father's brains out, I cut his body into pieces. I stuffed the meat into a vase I'd brought earlier, then drove back to my house.
Okay.
Saito spoke with grace and no sign of remorse. I was trying to keep my anger from boiling over and kept asking him questions. Why did you take out your victim's eyes?
Let's use the sync machine.
You know all about the prototype sync machine, don't you? That should explain it.
I knew. The prototype sync machine differed from the one at Abyss in a few key ways. The machine at Abyss is more sophisticated. Nanocables from the sync gear enter through the gap between the eyeball and the socket. They then travel down the optic nerve canal to the brain. But the prototype sync machine isn't so advanced. To perform a sync, you need to remove the left eye manually. The subject and the syncer have to remove the their eye from the socket.
So then shouldn't Boss not have a left eye right now? Well, oh, right, because you can pop them in and out pretty easily. We learned that from one of the stories from Ota.
Of course, even with the eye removed, severing the connection to the brain isn't necessary. The extracted eyeball still has the optic nerve and blood vessels connected. After a sync, the eye is supposed to be replaced back into the socket. It's supposed to be safe, side effects are rare. Unless the nerve or blood vessels are damaged somehow, replacing the eyeball isn't too difficult. Why'd you take out your victim's eyes?
Of course, I don't really care about eyes. I don't need them. All I cared about was exchanging bodies with the sync. And for that, I needed to remove the left eye.
Why didn't you just put the eyes back when you were done?
Lazy.
That's obvious. Once I was finished transferring into a new body, the old one was of no concern to me.
That also explains why Renju ate Shoko's eyeball.
Why would I bother replacing the eye? I was just going to get rid of it anyway.
Where are the eyeballs you removed?
If you've been eating all of them, I'm going to be so grossed out.
Shoko's is in Renju.
Renju's is an iris.
Renju's is in Iris.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. Okay.
Iris's is in Dad. Dad's is in Boss. Their stomachs, I mean.
You sick bastard.
Yep.
Yes, I ate them. Immediately after exchanging personalities.
I mean, eyes are like mostly water.
How horrible.
What's your motive?
Homicide is my hobby. I have a tenacity for it, what can I say? Of course, it was also necessary to make sure people kept their mouths shut. If I took over someone's body, they would know about my crimes. I couldn't risk them reporting me, so I killed them.
Okay.
It was also a matter of revenge. Against you. It's personal. That's why I chose people close to you as targets.
Interesting.
Well, except for my father, of course. That was personal to me. But don't ask. It's embarrassing.
He tried to cover up everything.
Revenge against me?
This series of murders was like a journey for me, you know? Traveling through bodies to finally reach the end. That's the thing about traveling. You always wind up in the same place, don't you? Where do you think that is?
Home.
Your home. A trip is only complete once you return home.
So you want to get back to your body, which would be the body that Kaname Date is in. Kaname
The
Date
same
might...
goes for me.
Kaname Date might be 89's original name, now that I think about it.
When I return home, my travels will come to an end. So I'll be needing it back. My body.
What?
You stole my body. You took it from me 6 years ago. That's why I want revenge.
What are you talking about?
You have no idea what it was like inside my own head. I miss it. I miss my brain, Date. No matter how many people I killed, it never worked. I never felt happy. I feel miserable.
It's because that only made you feel good in the original brain because you lacked the oxytocin, and you don't do that. You don't have that issue when you're in other people's brains.
You mean?
He was born with a brain dysfunction. Due to damage to the posterior pituitary gland, he was unable to properly secrete oxytocin.
Oh, that's right. My old body. How are you finding it, Date?
This is why there's all the things we heard about the dosage. This body is yours?
That's what I've been telling you!
But I don't have the same oxytocin deficiency you did.
That is because I regularly supplement it. They must have increased your dosage too much.
No, but the person who had this disorder was number 89, the original Cyclops killer.
That is what I believed as well, but we must have misunderstood.
That's just the body.
Pewter did not specify who exactly was imprisoned.
It's just the body that he was in.
Only that one of the original culprits responsible was currently in prison.
That's strange. That would mean number 89 is the previous chairman, Rohan.
Or...
That must be it. Rohan is a parasite inside number 89's brain.
Yeah, I did not consider that one. I don't know why.
Pewter must have known that.
No way.
Interesting. So then where was Saito during all this? I was confused. I didn't understand any of it.
Let us determine the specifics using Saito as our starting point. Whose brain was he in before Boss?
So Sejima.
And before So?
Iris?
And before that, Renju. And before that, Shoko.
And before Shoko?
I think he was in 89. I thought he was in 89. Whose body were you in before Shoko?
I was a parasite inside Rohan's brain 6 years ago until last year.
Okay.
I'd lost most of my memories. I was a shell of a man.
That explains why he changed 6 years ago. We did know that.
They housed me in a special hospital. But I still had those fragments of my mind left. Just as I explained earlier. From a single piece, you can recreate the whole. I took my time, slowly regaining my memories. 1 year ago, I remembered everything. I left the hospital and immediately sought out Shoko Nadami. I got her body, and she was in Rohan's. When she saw herself in the mirror, she lost her mind. She was confused, panicking, running up the emergency staircase, and then...
That's why Rohan committed suicide.
After that, I spent a year perfecting my plan,
Okay.
using Shoko's body.
So who were you in before Rohan?
I spied on you all this time. That's why I know everything about you.
Who were you before Rohan?
In that body you are operating right now, in that skull, my personality lived there.
So Kaname Date was 89, switched with Rohan Kumakura, so Rohan was in 89. Date was in Rohan. Then Rohan and Saito swapped, putting Date in Saito's body and Saito in Rohan's body. Okay, this is tracking.
Wait, hold on. If what you're saying is true, what about my personality?
It was in Rohan.
I'm not Rohan!
Correct. It is just as he explained earlier. Number 89 was in Rohan's body. In other words...
That's who we originally were.
Am I real?
Okay.
Keep talking.
Sorry, but time's up. I want my body back. It's quite simple. Sync with me and stay inside my mind for more than 6 minutes.
And if I refuse?
I know that you won't. I know it.
Huh?
Computer on your side.
Date, look! This is streaming live!
Is it gonna be Miski? Oh, okay, it's just... I mean, still bad, but at least it's not Miski.
Damn you!
Side note, I think that Saito might be in Hitomi's body in the pink route right now.
If you give me back my body, I will give you the location. Oh, and of course, it isn't the chemical plant in the Kawasaki district.
Could be in... okay, there's a bunch of theories I have.
Iva, where's the source?
It is being routed through numerous IPs. I cannot identify the source.
Computer, contact headquarters, now!
Got it!
Now, what will you do? Will you agree to my request?
Obey Saito.
I don't really want to. I won't do it.
Doc, I'm hurt. Don't you care about what happens to her?
I won't do it.
Do you understand the gravity of this situation? A bomb is strapped to her body.
Yeah.
I still won't do it.
You're too stubborn. Or maybe you're just cold-hearted.
I won't do it.
You want to see what will happen when her flesh burns and tears and scatters?
No, I just don't want to give in.
If you aren't quick, you'll see the whole thing. You know I'm not bluffing, don't you?
I didn't agree no matter how many times he demanded it of me. I refused again and again.
This might be a game over. Yep. I have a feeling it's a game over.
When I saw it, I understood. Boss's body rolled into the corner of the room. I didn't want to think anymore. Anything. Nothing. I closed my eyes and ran my palm across my face. I could taste blood. Bad end. Okay. That's fine. Yeah, we'll save. Where does that put us? Reopen. Okay. Sorry about that cut. After the bad end, we got back to where we were. Sorry, it took me a minute because I had to do that whole conversation again. Fine, I'll do it.
Date!
See? I knew you wouldn't refuse.
I mean, the game didn't give me a choice. It was a bad end when I didn't.
I know you well, don't I, Date?
Police headquarters, Tuesday at 4:28 a.m. we gonna get another sink? Oh my god.
I did it. I did it. I'm back. I got it all back!
Hey, where's Hitomi?
All right. I'll tell you as promised. Boss's house. However, it might be too late by now.
What?
I say, are they on a timer?
Why?
Return my body and I'll tell you the location.
Never said she'd be
That's
alive.
what I said. I didn't lie. I kept my promise.
You bastard!
You're the one who injured that body. It's your own fault, really.
Damn it.
Be seeing you.
She's... Go, Aiba! So adorable still!
Date, are you alright?
Aiba's voice barely resonated. I guess I should use a different voice. Aiba's voice barely resonated. My eyesight was hazy, a heap of broken images. Sweat was building on my palms. It felt like my throat was closing up, and I was struggling for breath. In my ears, the rushing blood of my heartbeat was the only sound.
Everyone's dead.
Shoko, Renju, Iris, Ota, Hitomi. Boss. The flesh remains, the mind is lost.
I couldn't do anything. Saito had me right where he wanted me. Nothing. Nothing.
Okay.
Parallel worlds exist.
It's gonna be into this route, I think. Oh. The word suddenly echoed in my head. I couldn't remember who, or where, or why. But I thought that if there really was such a world, then me, in that world, I is another.
Could I have had a better future?
I prayed that I could. I felt my consciousness sink into a black abyss. Credits. Okay, skipping credits because we've seen them. Annihilation route. And I thought it was Peter's route. Okay, Annihilation route. Are you gonna put this back on timeline now after we save? Okay. Okay. Yep, and this gets unlocked. So next time, we're going to continue this, and we're going to get to do the pink route and start figuring out the last few steps. Now that we've figured out so much about this, we're going to go back to the other parallel world where things are better, where I'm going to have to stop for a second and think between episodes about who's actually alive there and what all is happening in that route, because with this all this new information and stuff, I'm going to have to take a moment. But thank you everybody for watching. I hope you're all enjoying the game as much as I am. If you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a like or comment, or even subscribing to my channel. I appreciate you all, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye!